Hello. Today, we're going to talk about Christian contemplation, sometimes called centering prayer, but in its tradition, it is really a type of contemplation. It is the opening of the heart and the mind and our whole body to God, who is beyond our thoughts, beyond our feelings, beyond our words. We open to God who is closer to us than our very next breath, who is closer to us than our thinking, than our breathing, than even our consciousness, to the God of the universe who is. So Christian contemplation is a way of opening up and sitting in the presence of the divine. So there's some things that are helpful in Christian contemplation. One, that you have a regular liturgical prayer life that's outlined in prayers of the day, reading of psalms or reading of other scriptures and other prayer services of the church. Two, that you would also have a practice of Lectio Divina or Christian meditation, which is different than contemplation. That's another video on Lectio Divina. And so today, those two things are important as a foundation for Christian contemplation. Christian contemplation takes place, preferably twice a day for 20 minutes at a time each. If you only can do it once a day, that's great. But try to do 20 minutes if you're able. So you need to set aside a time and a space where you can be uninterrupted for 20 minutes. So turn off your phones, get in a quiet place, and then the other distractions you'll just have to ignore. So the first part is posture. What's the posture you're going to take? You want to be in a comfortable posture, but not so comfortable you'll fall asleep. You want to be comfortable enough that you can be relaxed and not feel uncomfortable or awkward. So you may sit on the floor in Indian style, certain ways there, but generally most people are going to sit in a chair like I'm doing now. And you'd like to sit with your back as far back as possible so that you're upright. And so maybe it's just your low back that's against the chair and your upper back is barely touching. You want to make sure your spine is straight. You want to make sure your chin and head are even, not back or not down, but level so that your spine is straight and aligned. You want to make sure your shoulders are relaxed, not up here, but relaxed. You want to make sure your face is relaxed. Once you close your eyes, take a moment and close your eyes and notice what muscles in your face are tense, and just invite those to relax. And then what do you do with your hands? So you can, if you're feeling open, you can place your hands upward on your thighs. If you're feeling a little more need to feel secure, feeling a little vulnerable, and then you can place your hands palms down on your thighs. But again, with your elbows at your side and your shoulders relaxed so you can rest. You can also place your hands together like this and let them rest at your waist. That's what I often do, and so they're just comfortable resting at the waist. So that's the first part, posture. The second part is your breathing. So when you breathe in contemplation, you don't want it to be a manipulated breath or a breath that you're controlling yourself. Although as soon as you start thinking about your breath, it's hard to not control it. It's kind of a strange paradox, but you just kind of want to let it be as much as possible. And so you want to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose, or in through your nose and out through your mouth ever so lightly. Well, either one works. You just really don't want to breathe in through your mouth. Your mouth will end up being dry and thirsty. Now, breathing is central to our very life and existence. Many people consider life to start at the first breath, as the ancients did for sure. In Hebrew and Greek, and both, also in Latin, all three of the words they have for breath, ruach, spiritu, pneuma, all also are the same words for spirit. So breath and spirit are inextricably intertwined together. So breathing is a really important process, of course, to stay alive, but is kind of what is going to float. Your contemplation is going to float on your breathing. So you want it to be relaxed, not forced. So some other things, too, that helps with this, so it's relaxed, is you don't want to do contemplation after a meal. Also, it also leads to falling asleep. So that's another struggle. So before a meal is actually preferable. So kind of first in the morning and then in the afternoon before you would eat would be ideal times to do that. So that's the second part, the breathing. And so you want to practice that a little. And then the third part is to find a sacred word that's helpful for you. And I have found that preferably sacred words that have 2 syllables. Jesus, Mary, Father, Mother. The Aramaic word for daddy, Abba. You can also use words that are not names of spiritual figures, but are notions like silence, or the Latin or the Italian word for love, amore, amor in Spanish, shalom, amen. And of course, you know shalom means peace, and amen is let it be so. My favorite to use is the name of God as given to us in the book of Exodus, Yahweh. Because it's almost thought that Yahweh the word is breath itself. So they thought that almost God's name is breath itself. And if you think about it, Yahweh. Now that's very exaggerated, but it almost is that kind of that sound. Yahweh is almost a sound of in-breathing itself. So once you've chosen your sacred word, 2 syllables preferred, then you're going to introduce it silently. So you're in your proper position, you're breathing, and then you're just going to introduce the word silently. So you're not going to say it out loud. You're just going to say it in your mind's eye. So, and I'm going to say it aloud for a moment, but your eyes are to be closed. Usually that's a good way to do this, to help cut out other distractions. So you've chosen your word, you close your eyes, you let yourself relax, and then you begin to ever so gently hold on to this word. And so that is the beginning of the contemplation. So the idea is not to have any particular thoughts. The idea is not to clear your head of thoughts either, but to stay with the word, the sacred word, and just to hold on to it ever so lightly. Now, you're going to notice your mind wandering, and it'll go to things, am I doing this right? Is something supposed to happen? How much time have I been doing this? Oh, I heard a bird over there. Your mind's going to go all these places. As soon as you notice your mind has jumped on a train and run somewhere, I say, as soon as you notice that, just gently come back to the word, to the sacred word. And try not to beat yourself up or any of those things, because then that's just going to continue to take you out of the presence of divine love. So you just want to come back ever so gently to the word. So every time you notice your mind being engaged, or you notice oh, my foot itches, just come back to the sacred word. So you're not looking for anything particular to happen. You're looking to be in God's presence. And for you to allow God's presence to open in you. So this isn't a technique. It's not about not having thoughts. It's not about making our mind blank. It's not about feeling peaceful. It's not about conjuring up any kind of experience. It's about just sitting with a friend. The divine mystery of the universe, God. So I invite you to try this practice, to be in stillness, to carry the word. Try it for 20 minutes a day. See what happens. Maybe try it for 20 minutes twice a day and really see what happens. There'll be a sense where you don't want to miss your time. So I bid you shalom, and I bid you peace, and I bid you strength and diligence in your practice of